Hey guys, it's Guard, and we finally did it. See my silver? Only 14,000? That's crazy low. That means I actually finished this constructed deck. It's day... I don't actually know what day it is. I have to go back and look. I think it's 30, maybe 29. And either way, it took me like half the time to make a good deck this time than it did last time. So, it's constructed, right? Let's play some Fiend decks. If you don't know what this deck is, it's a Indomitable Fiend. Like, this card is really weird. It doesn't level at all. It's only level 1. But when it enters play, if you didn't play it from your hand, it gets +6/+6 for each rank you have. Which means you can bring it back with Immortal Echoes, Remembrance, and Undying Legacy. Those are the only cards that bring them back. And they get really, really big. Especially Immortal Echoes is the important card. Because if the only thing you have that's died is Immortal or Indomitable Fiends, it'll just keep bringing back Indomitable Fiends over and over and over again. And they're 8/8, 14/14, 20/20. They get absolutely monstrous. The biggest downside of this deck is that if you don't draw those two cards, like Indomitable Fiend and Immortal Echoes, pretty early, you struggle. It's just a very linear strategy. And if you can't get your strategy rolling quickly, you tend to fall behind, and it's not good. Other things that stop it are like Phytobomb, Botanimate, and Dendrify. Those are really annoying too, because then they pollute your dead pool, force you to bring back plants instead of fiends. It's just not good. So, what you do to mitigate that is you play a controlling role. You have Dreadbolts, Death Currents, Firestorm, Epidemic, Chaos Twister, Static Shock, and Burnout. Crazy amount of removal. You just kill their cards over and over and over again until you can get your strategy online, and once you have it online, you use your removal spells to, kill them. You clear the creatures out of the way so your fiends can hit them. The bad part, or the reason I'm playing Tempest instead of there's like a lot of different versions of this deck, right? Because the core of the deck is Indomitable Fiend, Immortal Echoes, Remembrance, and Undying Legacy. That's the core. But I'm playing Tempest instead of, I think conventional at this point is Aloyan or Utera. Utera gives you a lot of good creatures, so you don't have to rely on Fiend as much. You can play Sharpblade Behemoth, you can play Big Bad Bartok, I've seen. Like a lot of different things. Aloyan gives you access to Ambriel's Edict, Wipe Clean, stuff like that. But the thing Tempest gives you is the ability to kill your own Indomitable Fiends. The Aloyan version cannot do that. You have to put it in front of a creature and block, but with the Tempest cards like Firestorm, Static Shock, or even Burnout, sometimes, you can actually kill your own fiends. It's very nice. So what I'm going to do here is, the goal of this whole run is to grind up to ranked. I'm currently Bronze 1 with 0 points in Bronze, so I'm trying to go all the way up to ranked, and I don't know how many of these games I'll actually record. I'll probably play a bunch of them. But we're going to go ahead and play the first one right now. And I paired that one super quick. I guess Bronze must pair really quickly. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't draw a Fiend this hand, so I'm probably going to level up Death Current. Death Current levels super well. Killing a random creature, but kills 2 random creatures eventually. And I'm going to level the Epidemic for sure, because that's a Aspirian Scarab deck. Aspirian Scarab decks are very usually swarm heavy. Then Epidemic is going to be more useful to me than casting Dreadbolt. So let's go ahead and Static Shock. I could Static Shock his face, but I don't know that this is the first time I've ever played this deck. I have the cards to build it on my main account. I just haven't, because I wanted this to be a fresh experience. So I don't know if it's right to Static Shock the creatures versus Static Shock the face. I think Static Shocking the creature there did nothing, but because it had armor, so I should have Static Shock the face. But like I was thinking it was gonna be like a Firestorm kind of thing. I don't know. So I'm gonna cast Epidemic and Dreadbolt this time. I don't have any Fiends to use Echo or Remembrance, and Echoes is probably fine to just level up as a card, but I don't have anything that encourages me to. Well, yeah, I don't really need to, because Immortal Echoes is really, really good at rank 3, but until I get to actual rank 3, it's not better than Epidemic. So now I can cast Indomitable Fiend in front of his Forge Watch Sentry, and then go to combat, then cast Firestorm, and that should clear the majority of his board. Though, actually, wait. It's way better for me to cast Immortal Echoes. I didn't realize this card was in my hand. Because now I can cast Indomitable Fiend Immortal Echoes, it'll die, and I'll get an Indomitable Fiend back, which helps me sustain against his board a lot. Because, I get this card as an 88 at rank 1. And at least I leveled those to, what are they called? Epidemics, because I'm going to need them if he's going to be playing a ton of creatures like this. And I actually have no idea what matchups are like for this deck. I don't even know if this is the correct play. I assume it is, because it's a huge blocker. But what I can do is keep leveling my Epidemics and then cast Epidemic and maybe Undying Legacy to keep my Indomitable Fiend alive. I don't know if he has Dendrifies in his deck. He probably does. I think all the Terra decks play Dendrify. Maybe some of them don't. So he gauntlets to my creature. That's fine. What I can do is cast Epidemic, Static Shock Epidemic. Ooh, Hive Mother, that card's good. I'm not sure. Maybe take a step back and think about what I can do, because I can cast. I think I want to cast Epidemic here. So casting Indomitable Fiend and Undying Legacy doesn't seem very good. Then I cast what, Death Current, because that's the next best card I've got going for me. So let's Death Current first, so I know what to Static Shock. Okay, so he's got his huge creature. So let's. I really wanted to kill the Hive Empress, because now I'm going to take a bunch of poison from that. But oh well. Let's go ahead and ping the Werewood Patriarch, because putting things at 4 is going to be really important if I draw those level 2 Epidemics. Hopefully the Indomitable Fiend spawns in front of Hive Empress. I think that would be for the best. One of the weird things about this deck is when you rank up and then summon a Fiend at the end of your turn, it gets points for your current rank. Like, you get rank 2. So even though this is the end of my rank 1, I got a 14-14 instead of an 8-8. Really strange. Oh, Chaos Twister is actually super good against this deck. Then I'm going to cast Immortal Echoes again, just so I can keep having creatures on the board. This Hive Mother is going to be a real problem. I'm at 4 poison already, plus whatever. Ooh, 6 poison. Plus whatever damage he deals to me. So I can Chaos Twister these 3 creatures, which almost killed all of them. Doesn't quite kill all of them. And then I cast what? Firestorm? Firestorm cleans up a lot of the creatures that it kills the Hive Empress, which I think is the main point. Though, Hive Empress doesn't have raid this turn, so Immortal Echoes is better. If Hive Empress can't get raid, it's just a 4-power creature. That, granted, has previously done a billion damage to me, but this time it's not. So I cast Firestorm, Chaos Twister this turn, and then hopefully draw an Immortal Echoes next turn. One thing that's really good against Wipe Clean is I can Wipe Clean the poison, but don't have Wipe Clean. Wipe Clean also destroys your Immortal Echoes, which is why I don't like the card very much. It takes a lot more finesse to play. So it looks like I'm going to die to this Hive Empress. So we're not off to a good start in my gold to silver run. I have no idea how many games these are actually going to record. Probably not all of them. That's just way too many games, I think. So let's cast Chaos Twister here, or Chaos Twister here, and then Firestorm. To kill all those creatures. I get to deal finally some damage to him. Actually, it doesn't kill all those creatures, but it's pretty close. It looks like I'm dead, actually, because I'm just taking too much damage. I don't have that many creatures in play. Plus, he gets to block my Fiend with his creatures. That kind of sucks. Yep, looks like we're on a loss for my first game. Oh well. It's a learning experience. Maybe I could have prioritized different cards. I'm not really sure. Hive Empress is a good card. I'm probably gonna just play 3 or 4 games every rank. So the bronze one, I'm playing as a silver 4 guy. I don't know if I count this as bronze or silver. It'll count as bronze. So he's leveling cards. Probably just blocking. So an Epidemic kills them both. So this is a smart play from him. He just kills my creatures. So I'm going to cast Epidemic and Death Current. Yeah, that's just the best thing I've got going for me. I'm dead if I can't kill him in a couple turns, which seems pretty likely because this is only 28 damage and I don't have any Fiends forthcoming. Yeah, so we're dead. Well, I tried my best, but my best wasn't quite good enough, so I'll play another game. Might as well. Fiend. There's 2 other. I should probably delete those other 2 decks. They're the decks I played the campaign with. I'll go ahead and delete them now. Delete new deck. Delete this. So, okay, and I'll pause it here while I'm waiting for My good opponent show up. Alright, I'm challenging Fences Saber 2000. I don't know how quick these games are, so I'm just like putting 3 on that. So what I'm going to do is play Static Shock, and then discard Epidemic. Epidemic skill's way better than Firestorm. I don't want to cast Epidemic because I don't want him to see what my other color is. This way he thinks I'm Burn, because I just Static Shocked his face twice. And then I can cast Indomitable Fiend and something. I don't know what. Maybe Death Current. The reason so it looks like he's some sort of control deck. So Death Current's really good against control decks because they don't play that many good threats. Though, Zithian Direhound's not a card you often see in control decks, especially when he casts with a 4/4 that doesn't level. It's quite odd. Okay, so I drew the Immortal Echoes on a good turn. No, hopefully my zombie dies and I can just keep Immortal Echoesing. Immortal Echoesing? That's kind of a weird phrase. Keep using Immortal Echoes? Yeah, let's go with that. I think I should be able to steamroll him if he's playing zombies, maybe? Zombies usually plays Direhound, so they can play, I don't know. I don't really know what he's playing yet. Some Spirit Stone Sentry, Zymus, Zithian Direhound. Why did he play Zithian Direhound on turn 1? Was his hand just like that bad? Maybe he thought it was going to be the best because like I was playing Burn, purportedly. What I can do is cast Dreadbolt to kill his 4/4, or I can cast Firestorm to try and kill everything. I think Dreadbolt levels way better. Dreadbolt gets significantly better as you level it up. Firestorm does not. Then I get my 8/8. Okay, now I can cast Remembrance to remove a Fiend from my deck, which is very nice, because then Fiends are pretty much dead draws. Because you play them, they don't have Overload, so you play them and you have to draw them again. But Remembrance stops you from drawing them again, and you get to put an 8/8 into play, or however big it is. So now I can cast Remembrance and Immortal Echoes, and that gives me a lot of different Fiends. Static Shock his face, Remembrance, Immortal Echoes. I don't think I need to cast Static Shock on his creatures. They don't really. It doesn't really do a whole lot. So Static Shock his face, cast Remembrance. I don't. This is random, I think. Downable Fiend, and then Immortal Echoes. So I take 4 from Spirit Stone Sentry, but I'm not too. I don't really care too much about that. Then I get 2 14/14s because Immortal Echoes is a weird interaction with a Downable Fiend, or rank ups in general, I guess. Then I can cast Epidemic to kill both his creatures. Or I guess both his creatures die, but if the Spirit Stone Sentry comes back, I can kill it. And I'm probably going to Undying Legacy one of my creatures just because I don't have a good way to bring back Indomitable Fiends right now. So if I can put... And he's not threatening me like the last deck was. Like the last deck was what? Growwide? So I had to keep constantly playing removal spells and I got poisoned and just died. But this time I can cast Undying Legacy on my guys that he's trying to block. So it'll bring back a Fiend and I'm casting a removal spell. Because against control decks, you don't have to cast nearly as many removal spells. This doesn't really do anything. So what I can cast here is Dreadbolt on his patron and then Undying Legacy on... Oh, he killed one of my guys. I imagine he's killing the 7/3 here. No, don't do that. That's bad. Ugh. Okay, so I guess I Undying Legacy this so I can get a fresh one. Kills his patron and I get a fresh Indomitable Fiend, and then I Dreadbolt this. I could cast Epidemic, but I don't want a Spiritual Sentry to block the 7/3. I don't know if that's right, but it feels like the better play to me. And now I get a bunch of 14/14s, casted 2 Immortal Echoes here, and be invincible. I think I just Static Shock his face again. I could definitely see where adding Ice Grasp to this deck is good, because it gives you an extra dimension to the deck where you can just cast a bunch of Timid spells to get their elect down without having to attack them with Fiend. This is definitely a budget version, and I didn't really like Ice Grasp a lot because if you draw Ice Grasp, like half your deck aren't Tempest spells, so it feels really weird. Spirit Cleave's pretty good. Can kill my 13/13 though, which is attacking him this turn. Kind of awkward. But now I get to put 2 um, Immortal Echoes into play. Or 2 Fiends into play, I should say. 14/14, just definitely bigger than everything else. Put 2 guys into play. They get power up. And I can play Remembrance. Do I have any? I don't have any Fiends left. Oh yeah, I do have one. So I can cast Remembrance here and Undying Legacy maybe. I'm so surprised the Spiritual Sentry hasn't been able to block. Spiritual Sentry is actually pretty good against this deck because you get a lot of chump blocks, but none of my Fiends have spawned in front of it, which is pretty remarkable considering I've summoned like 4 or 5 since that Spiritual Sentry's been there, and none of them have been wanting to block that guy. Which sucks for him, but it's really good for me. There's a Patron to shrink all my creatures. Doesn't even kill my Fiend, no. And then what's the second play? A Spiritual Sentry for chump blocking? Yeah, that's probably for the best. So there's no point in casting Remembrance because I've already got 2 Fiends that are coming down. So it's probably going to be better off if I cast Undying Legacy on this 10 one. And then maybe Dreadbolt or Burnout. Yeah, I can just burn his face. That's 8 damage. It's pretty good. Cast Undying Legacy, cast Burnout. I don't have to draw Burnout again. Hopefully the Spiritual Sentry doesn't come back. Well, that's actually probably the best place for it to come back, since that Undying Legacy, or that, yeah, this Fiend is an Undying Legacied, which means when it dies, I get another copy of it. And then I cast Static Shock, burn out his face. He's pretty close to that. He's at 13. I've got 3 creatures that are 11 damage to him. So even if he blocks 2 of them, I can Static Shock him for the last 2. If he kills them with... I'm not sure what with. So I don't think he can win this one. He just refreshed my Fiend. I think he's dead. I'm like positive he's dead. Zymus, that doesn't block. Like it can block 2 of my creatures, but then he dies to this and this. Like this one's unblocked right now. So he's at 3. I've got lethal in my hand, but I also have lethal on the board. So sweet. Finally won a game. I think I'm gonna end it here and then maybe make a video with like 2 more. So that's bronze 1. Got it. Took me 2 games to win a game. But from here on out, we're just not gonna lose.